welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Well, the first round of the voting has begun with Uttar Pradesh taking off to a very stormy start. 58 seats went to polls. And of course, this was in Western UP, where the BJP had about 53 seats in the earlier round. But now from voices on the ground and what we are being told is that this could be a game changer. There could be a turn in the elections. Have the UP ke ladke actually made a mark versus the Yogi, Modi, Amit Shah trio? Well, that is something I'm going to be discussing with my panel. Today, joining me is Yashwant Dev, psephologist and founder of Sea Voter. We have Badri Narayan, he is the author of The Republic of Hindutva and a political scientist, and Ashutosh, founder of satyahindi.com. Yashwantji, first I'll ask you, what have you heard? Is it what you were predicting, or have you got some kind of reverse feedback on the first round of elections?
Priya, looking at the turnouts, the numbers which we have received, the last numbers were 60% plus, and it was only 3% less than last time. And that too were actually provisional figures. So looking at them, it is very clear that by the time the final figures will come, probably the numbers are going to be back on the same line, or maybe a point or two more. So I don't think that the turnout itself is at large showing any substantial gain or substantial drop as such in people's participation. There could be, however, the relative turnout things within the demographics that is certainly going to be interesting, and particularly the much anticipated swing of the Jat voters that we have been talking along for almost a year now. Now, what remains to be seen is that whether it is a pan-region anti-BJP lock, stock and barrel Jat swing against the BJP, or whether that Jat swing is more concentrated or more emotional towards Jain Chaudhary and RLD, and they are deciding at constituency-wise whether they should be voting against the BJP lock, stock and barrel, or only in favor of the RLD and Jain Chaudhary. That is what remains to be seen.
Okay. In fact, if I could bring in this point, I'd done a book on, young leaders of tomorrow called The Contenders, in which Jain Chaudhary was very much there. And he is, 2 years ago, I did that book. And sure enough, this election I'm seeing, we've also seen the birth of a leader. And early on at that time, he told me that sab mujhe jante hain ki wo hai, ye hai jisko Hema Malini ne haraya hai. But now Jain Chaudhary could well become someone जिसने BJP को थोड़ा सा nervous तो बनाया है, हराया या नहीं पता चलेगा, लेकिन nervous जरूर बनाया. Ashutosh, we are seeing the birth of a leader also. What is your feedback on the first round?
Priya, about the first phase of polling, I can say that the BJP is in deep trouble. And the reason is very simple, because the BJP has underestimated the Jat votes and the Jat and the Muslim combo, and also the farmers' agitation. And if you see the voting percentage which happened in these areas, it's much higher than the other areas. I can understand. So, like in Shamli, Muzaffarnagar, Meerut, Bagpat, these are the areas of high polling percentage, whereas the Ghaziabad, Hapur, Gautam Buddha Nagar, Aligarh, these are the low, relatively low. Though I agree with Yashwant that the final data has to come. So three things can be understood. First of all, I think BJP is going for a root shock in this area. Secondly, the coalition between the Akhilesh and Jain Chaudhary, I think it works well on the ground. What I got from reports from my reporters and other people, that not only they could successfully transfer votes from one to another, but there seems to be some kind of a chemistry on the ground. So arithmetic is working and the chemistry is also working. That's a dangerous sign. Though I can understand that in the urban areas, like in Gautam Buddha Nagar, in Noida, in Ghaziabad, in Aligarh, they might not do as well as they think. Here, BJP might have certain edge, though I still doubt that edge. But BJP, which in 2017 got 46.1% vote share, in this phase, 153 seats out of 58. Certainly, they're not going to repeat it. And I will be more than happy and surprised if the BJP could get even half of the seat which they won in 2017.
Okay. Badri Narayanji, what is your first take after seeing the first round of polling?
First of all, I would like to respond what you said, asked the Ashutosh, the birth of a leader. Sometimes condition makes you leader. Like Gandhi, when Gandhi came in the Indian freedom movement, this time made him a leader. So time of the Western UP, political time, must be making a leader like Jayant Chaudhary. But I'm more convinced what Ashwanji is saying about the Western UP, this phase. And with a disclaimer that, or with qualifying the things, that it's true that BJP is not going to get what it has get in the last elections. It's true that they are going to lose in many seats, on many seats. But even then, BJP will get a kind of good number of seats that will make a condition to come in the power in the Western UP. How? Actually, what happened always, this analysis of the Western UP become either Jat-centric or Muslim-centric. No, the other caste, in this election, I think other castes are going to play a major role than the central caste. Core vote and the Stepney votes. Stepney votes are going to play a very important role, which people call Fata Hua vote. No, this Fata Hua vote are going to play a very important role. We heard from many people in the Western UP, इस बार Fata Hua vote decide करेगा कौन जीतेगा. And in all the analysis, what we do, Jato के बारे में हम सोचते ही नहीं है. Jato is a very good number of percentage in Western UP, around I think 17 to 20% population. Jato means Dalit. Jato alone कम है, लेकिन अकेले ज्यादा है, बट एक टोटल जो दलित पॉपुलेशन है उसमें जाटों का जो पॉपुलेशन है उस पर हम लोग we never take them in consideration while analyzing poll performances in Western UP. So इस बार we need to see that also, how they are going to make this election at many places triangular, and that we are not able to record and document. So and the Jat it's true that Jats may decide the elections many times, but the fragmentations on various lines are also taking place in Western UP. ठीक है, emotion, there is one emotion of the caste emotion, but there are other emotion also in Western UP, that is the Hindutva emotion. And in many areas, जहां पर high percentage को analyze कर रहे हैं आशुतोष जी, that he is arguing that it is because Muslim is polled a lot in that region. When this kind of constituency comes, जहां पर Muslim population ज्यादा होती है, वहां पर polarized Hindu होता है बहुत ज्यादा, and they go to the vote polling booth in a much aggressive way. हालांकि वो ये भी नहीं कह सकते कि उन जगहों पे मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन सबसे ज्यादा है. Marginal difference, and the logic of polarization is always based on fear. तो जो fear psychosis, तो fear psychosis को अगर एनालाइज करें तो वहां पर ये भी कहा जा सकता है, यानी इट्स ओपन फॉर एनालिसिस, कि हिंदू एग्रेसिवली वोट किए होंगे उन क्षेत्रों में, ये भी हो सकता है. I'm not sure because we don't have data.
Quickly, I'll get Ashutosh in.
I am arguing for any simple analysis of this electoral act which took place on the first phase, and we need to make it bit complex. We take it in a very complex way. ये मेरा बस request है.
ठीक है, Ashutosh, you wanted to come in, then I'll get Jashwantji.
See, I think sometimes when we try to micro-analyze, then I think we commit mistakes. I think the big picture is very, very clear in Western UP. And not only Western UP, but in the entire UP. I think the myths of a Hindutva vote is going to be broken this time. And because anybody who's saying that the Hindutva voter is a silent voter, it doesn't speak up, I think that I do not agree with that. Hindutva voter is very aggressive, very assertive, and they like to speak about what they think. I agree with Badriji on one count, that this is the area where the BSP has done very well. Even in 2017, BSP got 22.5%, was the number 2 party here. In 2012, they were the highest vote getter, 29% votes, and more than SP and Congress and RLD together. So to undermine BSP, and BSP does not only mean the Jato votes. Some people do commit mistakes. BSP means Jato votes plus other than Jato votes and the most backward caste also. That's a combination which Kanshiram has created. So I do not think that BSP is going to be very underestimated, though BJP is substantially losing vote. That's the most important thing. And the losing, why? Because of the price rise, because of the unemployment, because of the arrogance, and because of Hindutva. They have failed to polarize votes on these lines. I think sometimes there is a diminishing returns of the same rhetorics. It worked in 2014, it worked in 2017, it worked in 2019. But if there is no delivery on the ground, and there is no delivery, let's accept that. Let's face it.
So आधी रोटी खाएंगे मंदिर वही बनाएंगे वाला sentiment is not helping the BJP.
How long? Since 1989 you have been saying this. Now the temple is made. Now the Ram Mandir is made. Now the Babri Masjid is demolished. Now the 370 is gone, and half of the Uniform Civil Code is also also done. So now what more? People want deliveries on their economics. People want deliveries on their unemployment and other things also. Look at the per capita income of UP. Per capita income of UP in the last 5 years is 46,000 per year, where the national average is 96%. 96. Goa has got 3 lakhs. Where is UP? So are voters going to ignore all these facts? And just because somebody has promised temple, somebody has promised Hindutva, somebody is spreading hatred against Muslims, so they'll keep voting on that. If that is a fact, then the Jat Muslims should not have come together, because they were the major factor in 2014, 2017, 2019.
Right. Yashwanji, your reaction to what everybody has said. And I just want to add, I had gone to Western UP and I found the sentiment so against BJP, Yashwanji, that people were saying that when I asked Modi ka alternative kya hoga national level pe, they were even willing to consider Rahul Gandhi. And I was actually surprised, to be very frank and honest. So is there this sentiment on the ground? Is it working against the BJP on issues that really matter? Yashwanji.
In Western UP, yes, and that the tracker has been reporting that for a long time now, that they are going to face significant losses, and to an extent that Priya, we also said that these losses are with or without the farmers. So the Jat's anger against the BJP had nothing to do with the farm loss first. The anger was largely at not getting a fair share of power in Lucknow, of being left out, of being felt like they have supported BJP lock, stock and barrel 3 elections, but they didn't get their due recognition or due share in the power. So even if the farm loss wouldn't have happened, BJP would have been a problem in Western UP, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So that is a foregone conclusion. Obviously, I mean, Ashutosh is absolutely damn correct. Badriji is also correct in that way. But only thing is that we need to wait and see that the damage, 2 things, Priya. One, the damage in Western UP, to what extent are they facing that damage? Number 1. Number 2, the upswing is very clearly primarily for RLD and Jayant Chaudhary. SP is getting benefited out of it, no doubt. But is that upswing beyond the Western UP of the same quantum? That is not visible as well. There is a limitation to that upswing. The same tracker has been showing that all along. Because outside that Western UP realm, there is no significant player of the caste equation politics which can add on to what already Akhilesh Yadav has with him. Only thing that he got further up was the complete polarization of the Muslim voters from the kitty of Mayawati and Congress together. So they got an upswing of Muslim vote across UP. That is when the bipolarity came in. That our tracker started reporting right on day 1. That UP is getting bipolar and everybody else is going to be shifted out. Samajwadi Party has become one pole. But becoming one pole and changing the equation altogether and becoming the alternative are 2 different things. Samajwadi Party is definitely an alternative. Number 1, as far as the Muslim voters are concerned, to choose between BSP and Samajwadi Party. They have chosen completely blindly that Samajwadi Party is the alternative, just the way they chose Mamata Banerjee and dumped Left Front and dumped Congress in Malda and Murshidabad in West Bengal. So that clarity is there. RLD is the alternative, and along with RLD, Samajwadi Party being in alliance with RLD is an alternative as far as the Jat voters are concerned. What Badriji is saying Nobody is talking right now of the Jatav voters because of, first of all, the Jatavs are still not leaving Mayawati. Non-Jatav Dalits have left Mayawati and they have swung in the last 7 years largely to the BJP and they are likely to remain there. Are the non-Jatav Dalits or are the Jatav voters are shifting to Samajwadi RLD? Hell no. That is unlikely to happen because of the local equations. The arithmetics and the local social equations. I was talking to Ashutosh. This is an interesting anecdote. Khalid Akhtar, our output editor.
Yashwant ji, before the break, आप हमको कुछ बताना चाहते थे, some very interesting anecdote.
हमारे जो आउटपुट एडिटर हैं खालिद अख्तर, वो वेस्टर्न यूपी के ही रहने वाले हैं और हमारी बातचीत जब हो रही थी डेटा को हम लोग पीछे ट्रैकर में एनालाइज कर रहे थे और मैंने ये सवाल उनसे पूछा बहुत सीधे कि यार 2013 के तो दंगे हो गए खत्म, अब तो ये चीज खत्म हो गई और अब आप ये क्यों कह रहे हो कि मुसलमान हो सकता है समाजवादी पार्टी को वोट न दे? I mean, they are together. Jat and Muslim unity is the thing and the flavor of the season and thing on the ground. And he actually analyzed in a much different way. I mean, coming from that area, and that was a learning experience for me. He said, Yashwantji, this entire thing of Jat and Muslims coming together, people are not realizing the core issues of where the split happened. The split did not happen because of some danga happened in 2010. The split started happening post economic liberalization जब 90 के दशक के बाद में पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश में मुस्लिम वर्ग में बहुत बड़ी तादाद में लोगों को इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और कंस्ट्रक्शन के इसमें लगातार धंधा बढ़ा, पैसा बढ़ा. They started getting a lot of resources and with resources they started participating in the political leadership. First set of political leadership to the Muslims in Western UP came with an extension of BSP because Jats and Jatavs were at loggerheads and, Muslims getting ticket on the BSP ticket, it formed a solid combination. So biggest number of the Muslim MLAs actually got from Western UP on BSP tickets.
Okay.
And that was a natural alliance for them to come. Now with that coming into power, for the first time in 50 years, the Jat hegemony of the leadership in the Western UP got challenged. So it was a continuous 15-20 years battle of who is leading, who is the leader. And it starts with, कि थाना कौन कंट्रोल कर रहा है, थानेदार किसकी बात सुन रहा है, लड़ाई किससे हो रही है. So it was a question of a very significant political leadership tussle on the ground where 50 years Jat were unchallenged. And all of a sudden, where there was a very resourceful Muslim leadership, a lot of money, newly earned money, getting along with the BSP ticket with 100% of the Jatav supporters and forming a solid combination of a vote bank which was undefeatable.
Very interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what he said that जो ये सोचते हैं कि 2013 में दंगे के कारण पोलराइजेशन हुआ, वो ये गलत सोचते हैं.
उससे पहले
पोलराइजेशन ये नीचे के इक्वेशन, ये लीडरशिप की लड़ाई है और ये लीडरशिप की लड़ाई अलग तरीके से चल रही है. इसका पोलराइजेशन हिंदू मुस्लिम पोलराइजेशन से सीधा कोई नहीं. हिंदू मुस्लिम पोलराइजेशन, ही सेड दंगा became just a name for that reaction, just a name for or I mean the cause to analyze in that way.
Right.
But
I'm going to cut you short and bring the others in.
And funny thing that he said, that thinking that they will just go hand in hand to the put together as the Jat Muslim unity and going in one way direction. He said that Muslim voting for a Jat candidate is 100% foregone conclusion because their prime motive is to defeat the BJP.
Okay.
That is a foregone conclusion. But the other way around, whether it will have the same kind of impact, that is not purely on the Hindu-Muslim coming together, Jat and Muslims going together hand in hand to the polling booth. That is not that simple and easy that we may like to oversimplify in terms of two parties coming together. It is beyond the parties. And this is a very interesting equation. And that is something which is probably people are not going to analyze whether it is true or not after the results are. We will know, Ashutosh, what you are saying exactly. If the BJP vote share drops drastically, there are two ways of looking into it. BJP का vote share या तो बुरी तरह से गिरेगा, तो समझ में आएगा कि नहीं, ये सारी चीजों में बीजेपी का वोट गिर गया. और या फिर आरएलडी समाजवादी पार्टी का 3 हिस्से में हमको देखना होगा. अगर उनका वोट शेयर यूनिफॉर्म और इक्वल रहा across the region, across all the parties, then whatever Ashutosh is saying is absolutely making sense. And then in that case, Ashutosh, probably you will be right, because if those are the issues where Jat and Muslims and everybody is voting against the BJP, then that sentiment will travel from not just west, but right up to east. And BJP would be routed if that sentiment travels.
Let me get Ashutosh in. I know, Ashutosh, you want to come in on this?
See, I think the 2-3 points which is being missing in this debate. First of all, if there is one political party whose vote share is volatile, it's Bharatiya Janata Party. If you take the example, in 89, BJP was just 11.6%. It jumps 20% vote share jumps in 91. It stays, BJP stays 32.5% till 96. And then suddenly in 2002, there is a drop of almost 12% votes. In 2007, there is a drop of almost 15% vote share. And then from it continues till 2012. In 2012 and 2017, there is a jump of almost 25% vote share. So there is a volatility in BJP vote share. Whereas the SP and the BSP, they both are consistently maintaining 20% vote share, 20% or 20% plus. So those who say that the BSP is nowhere in the picture, just see it. In 2017, they got 22.2% vote share, though the seat conversion was less. Samajwadi Party got 21.48% share. So consistently, you say, in 2002, 25.4%, in 2007, 25.4%, in 2012, 29.1%, and 17, 21. This is the SP vote share. BSP is 23%, 30.4%, 25.9%, 22.2%. So those who are advocating that the non-Jatos had left BSP, I think they have no idea about what is happening on the ground. The BSP vote share has been completely consolidated with the BSP. The issue is whether they can convert into the seats or not. That's an issue. That's what I have been saying. Those who are talking about that the BJP made successful inroads into the Jata votes. I had always said it's a myth which has been made. I have been saying BSP vote में जो है वो inroads नहीं है. This election can be the turning point, because everybody is saying it's a bipolar election. So if that happens, then who will be benefited? Whether BJP will be benefited or the Samajwadi Party will be benefited, that has to be seen.
अगर मेरा केवल एक ही इसमें यह है कि आपका कहना सही है कि बीएसपी को लोग अंडर एस्टिमेट करते हैं. बद्री जी ने भी ये बात बोली और मैं उस बात से सहमत हूं, अंडर एस्टिमेट करते हैं. लेकिन बीएसपी के 20-22% अगर बीएसपी पोल कर ले जाती है तो उसका केवल एक मतलब होगा, मतलब मैं केवल ऊपर से कह सकता हूं, अगर बीएसपी 20% से ऊपर वोट करती है तो बीजेपी आसानी से क्लीन स्वीप करेगी. क्योंकि इस समय समाजवादी पार्टी की बायंसी जो आई है वो केवल 2 वोट शेयर से सबसे ज्यादा आई है. पहला मुस्लिम वोट अक्रॉस द स्टेट जो बीएसपी की तरफ से शिफ्ट हुए हैं समाजवादी पार्टी को, तकरीबन जो 20-22% में 5-6% उनके पास में मुस्लिम वोटर हुआ करते थे जो उनको गए हैं. तो अगर बीएसपी 20-22% पोल करती है तो इसका मतलब ये कि मुसलमान उनको नहीं छोड़ रहे हैं, और अगर मुसलमान नहीं छोड़ रहे हैं तो समाजवादी पार्टी का पहला बायंसी जो है वो नहीं आएगा, जो हो रहा है. दिख रहा है बायंसी, बाइपोलरिटी उसी से आएगा. दूसरा जाट मतदाता, ये 2 सबसे बड़े जो उनके ग्रोथ में या उनके अपस्विंग में जो सबसे बड़े फैक्टर हैं वो ये दोनों हैं. तो बीएसपी का आगे बढ़ना या बीएसपी का 20% पोल कर जाना, आशुतोष, मुझे नहीं लगता कि वो समाजवादी पार्टी के लिए बहुत अच्छा संकेत होगा. मुझे ऐसा लगता है. डिपेंड करेगा. आशुतोष, आपने वोट शेयर की जो बात की ना, उससे पता लग जाएगा. एक्चुअली में हम लोग पोस्ट पोल में देखेंगे तो हमको आइडिया लग जाएगा
ठीक है. मैं बद्री जी को भी थोड़ा लेट मी ब्रिंग हिम इन आल्सो.
कितना होती है उस पे पता लगता है.
ठीक. बद्री जी, योर रिएक्शन टू दिस कन्वर्सेशन.
नो, आई थिंक मैं एकदम सहमत हूँ जो आशुतोष जी कह रहे हैं इसमें, और जो यशवंत जी भी जो उसकी पुनर्व्याख्या कर रहे हैं. और मैं तो आई एम वन ऑफ द पर्सन जो 3 महीनों से कह रहा है ऑन वेरियस फोरम दैट बीएसपी इज बीइंग अंडरमाइंड इन दिस एंटायर डिस्कोर्स, और ये होना नहीं चाहिए. ये मैं बार बार कह रहा हूँ, लिख के भी, बोल के भी. तो अच्छा, उसका कारण पर विवाद है अभी जो एक तो जाटो प्लस नॉन जाटो. दलितों में आप देखिए अराउंड 17% दलित वेस्टर्न यूपी में ही हैं. और उसमें मुझे नहीं लगता कि थोड़ा बहुत वाल्मीकिस वाल्मीकि और थोड़ा बहुत कुछ और छोटी जातियां हैं दलितों में, जिनके वोट बीजेपी की तरफ शिफ्ट पहले से भी होते आए हैं और वो रहेंगे। हाँ, और पासी वगैरह, पासी तो इधर ज्यादा है सेंट्रल में, वहां कम है। पासी के वोट 3 फाड़ में बट रहे हैं, तो वो हो सकते हैं, लेकिन मोस्ट ऑफ द दलित्स वो उनके साथ रहेंगे, मायावती के साथ। और क्या है, एक पब्लिक स्फीयर बन गया है, जिस पब्लिक स्फीयर में वी कांट लिसन देम। पहले जैसे हम लोग कहते थे कि सोशल मीडिया पर है ही नहीं। पिछले दिनों जब मैंने प्रिंट में लेख लिखा तो जो उस पर रिएक्शंस आने लगे उनकी तरफ से, तो मुझे लगा कि कितना उनका भी एक वाइब्रेंट सोशल मीडिया स्फीयर है, लेकिन हम लोग उनको अंडरएस्टिमेट करते हैं हर तरह से। तो एक तो वो हो गया। दूसरा, जो मुस्लिम वोट में ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग डिबेट है कि अगर मुस्लिम वोट, अगर बीएसपी अपना वोट शेयर इंटैक्ट कर ले जाती है 22% से 20 से 22%, इट मींस मुस्लिम ने उसको नहीं छोड़ा है। और वो अगर नहीं छोड़ा है तो समाजवादी पार्टी के प्रोस्पेक्ट को वो डैमेज करेगी बीएसपी। मेरा मानना है कि बीएसपी एक डबल एज सॉर्ड है इस समय उत्तर प्रदेश की पॉलिटिक्स में। वो दोनों को ही काट रही है और दोनों को पता नहीं चल रहा है कि बीएसपी काट रही है हमें। कहते हैं ना, वो बड़ा कहते हैं वो मोहक दर्द है जो बीएसपी दे रही है। वो कैसे दे रही है ये मैं थोड़ा आपको बताता हूँ। एक तो ये है कि मुस्लिम वोट, उनके मुस्लिम कैंडिडेट्स वेस्टर्न यूपी में जहां जहां विनेबल हैं और जहां जहां जो केमिस्ट्री कह रहे हैं आशुतोष जी, उनकी एसपी आरएलडी केमिस्ट्री गड़बड़ हो रही है, गड़बड़ हो रही है, ये आपको मानना पड़ेगा कई जगह पर, इन स्पाइट ऑफ मेटा कहते हैं ना नैरेटिव ऑफ जो ब्रॉड पिक्चर, जिसको आप मीडिया में कहते हैं ब्रॉड पिक्चर के मुस्लिम एसपी की तरफ जा रहा है। कई जगह डैमेज हो रही है उनकी केमिस्ट्री और वहां पर बीएसपी को फायदा हो रहा है इस ब्रॉड लाइन के बाद भी, इस हेडलाइन के बाद भी। माइक्रो मैनेजमेंट, माइक्रो इश्यूज कम्स। दूसरा जो है, अब उससे चाहे इतना % वोट बन जाए, दूसरा जो फटा हुआ वोट मैंने कहा, उसमें बहुत सारी एमबीसी जातियां जो हिंदू एमबीसी जातियां हैं, वो बीएसपी को भी वोट कर रही हैं इस बार भी। कल मैं बुंदेलखंड से लौटा हूं और वहां पर जो माहौल है, जिस तरह से उन्होंने 2007 में जैसे उन्होंने टिकट बांटे थे जिस केमिस्ट्री के तहत, उसी आधार पर इस बार भी बांटे हैं। बीच की गलतियों को उन्होंने दूर किया है। उसके कारण एमबीसी वोटों में फ्रैक्चर दिखाई पड़ रहा है, जो पिछली बार बीजेपी की तरफ मोबिलाइज थे कोहेसिवली।
थैंक यू बद्री जी। एनीथिंग एल्स जल्दी से?
दोनों को वो काट रही है अपने अपनी तरह से।
Priya, just 30 seconds. See, जो Muslims is again not a monolith. जो पसमानदा मुसलमान है वो बीएसपी के साथ अलाइन होता है। जो अशराफ है वो समाजवादी पार्टी या कांग्रेस के साथ जाता है।
अर्जाल भी है, अशराफ
अर्जाल also. So ये जो अगर बीएसपी could keep even a 5% of the Muslim voters which belongs to the Pasmanda with itself, then it will create problems for the SP and the RLD. And if Muslim as an identity, as a single identity, if that is felt threatened by the BJP and it goes up to 90% to the Samajwadi Party in RLD, then BJP is heading for a big trouble. Then the vote share of the BSP will come down.
ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच। सो वी डिस्कस द वन ऑब्वियस लीडर जो है जयंत चौधरी जो उभरे हैं, और एक हिडन लीडर जैसे कि बद्री नारायण जी ने कहा डबल एज स्वॉर्ड जो मायावती है। सो इंटरेस्टिंग इलेक्शन अहेड, वील हैव लॉट्स मोर कन्वर्सेशंस लाइक दिस, बट फ्रॉम नाउ दैट्स इट। थैंक यू फॉर वाचिंग दिस शो एंड थैंक यू ऑल फॉर पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन दिस।
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.